Update. Me 22 male with my ex 23 female of 8.5 years. She left and came back. Original post. We started dating in 8th grade. We went to high school and college together and dated the entire time. We graduated college this summer. After college, she gets into grad school in her hometown, which is 6 hours away from her college town, and I've already accepted a job in her college town. We agree that I will move to her hometown in 1 year, put in a work transfer, so we can live together during her second and final year of grad school. She stays with her family for the summer before grad school starts, this past June through September. And so during this time, we are long distance. She becomes noticeably irritable and distant. She comes to visit me in her college town where I've been working after a couple of months and says that we should take a break while she goes to grad school. I fall apart crying, and she changes her mind. A couple of weeks later, she starts texting me saying she doesn't feel like talking to me anymore and that she loves me but isn't in love with me. I asked to call her and she allows me to a few hours later. I told her it would hurt me too much to ever speak to her again and that I forgive her and say a final goodbye. I fell apart, of course. I miss work for a week. I'm completely unstable for over a month. I don't eat or sleep really at all. She makes no effort to contact me for 10 weeks. Then suddenly, when I'm starting to heal and accept that she isn't the one for me, etc., she begins contact. She tells me over Facebook not talking is too hard for her. I delete the message with no reply. She tries texting 4 days later and I block her number. 3 days after that, she has her brother contact me. That's when she cracks. It's finals week in her first quarter of grad school and she drives 6 hours the night before her final to tell me she made a huge mistake. This occurred this Wednesday. I told her I don't believe her and that she needs more time to think about what she really wants and if it's me that she wants. I told her that I was skeptical and don't believe she loves me, pointing out that she said she wasn't in love with me. She doesn't remember saying that and claims that she spent weeks thinking about it and regrets her decision. During our time apart, she went on one terrible date and did not leave for another guy. However, I'm scared that she is just lonely, nostalgic, and will leave me again when she gets bored. She tells me it's not nostalgia and she learned her lesson. I tell her to take a couple more months to think about it and decide if it's really me that she loves. I also tell her how hard the breakup was on me and proceed to condemn our 8.5-year relationship. I told her I had to demonize her and the relationship in order to move on and laid out all the flaws. I then told her how great my life was becoming. I now go to the gym every day, have gotten new hobbies, and am way more social with friends. What do I do here, guys? Now for the comments before reading the update. During our time apart, she said she went on one terrible date and did not leave for another guy. Do you believe this? I wouldn't. Even if it was somehow verified to be true, I'd still have a hard time believing it. What she did reeks of failing with another guy and returning to her plan B. Let's say it's true, it's certainly understandable. Given how young you were when you started dating, it's understandable to want to branch out to new experiences, and you should do the same. What do I do here, guys? Stay the course and keep moving on. You said it best. I then told her how great my life was becoming. I now go to the gym every day, have gotten new hobbies, and am way more social with friends. There's zero need to compromise such awesome momentum. Keep it up. OP says, I got her mom to admit there was a guy involved when she left. You were right. Thanks. My advice is that you both have been committed too long since you were way too young. You two need to have some different life experiences and date some different people. If it's meant to be, you will return to each other. Right now, however, y'all don't know if the relationship is really fulfilling or if the sex is actually compatible or if you're what the other even wants because you two do not know anything or anyone different. These types of relationships can be healthy for some. They can also breed codependency for others. I think you should continue with this break and focus on yourself, as you've been doing wonderfully. Kudos to you. Date other people and see what happens from there. You do not have to discount her entirely. Just take some space. I hope this helps and wish you the best. And now for the update. Hi guys, I came to this sub out of depression 2 years ago, and I have an update on my thoughts and feelings since then. I, 24 male, dated my ex, 24 female, from ages 13 to 21, 8th grade until college graduation. Let's call her Lily. Lily left me after she got into an Ivy League grad school in September 2016. See link to her original post above. I was in shock and in some ways still am. She starts contacting me in early November 2016. I ignore. She showed up unannounced at my apartment, having driven 300 miles from her grad school to where I now live and work. She apologized and tried to reunite. I built up walls already and told her politely no thanks, despite desperately wishing we were still together. I was so broken and sad that her arrival at my apartment enhanced the fantasy that maybe we could work it out. After all, I spent my formative years loving this person and yearned for her. She was my whole world still. I called Lily and asked to meet again around Thanksgiving since we will both be back in her hometown. We meet, and after I ask specifically, Lily admits she slept with someone. I reply that I'm not interested in reuniting. We both go home grieving. Having grown up with Lily's parents and loving them as my own, I get Lily's mother to confess separately to me that Lily tried to contact her prospective new plaything after they slept together and the new guy told her to get lost, confirming my hunch that I'm Lily's fallback plan. Lily never admitted this to me, but she did later admit that when she left me, she had already been asked out by this new guy and that she wanted to say yes, so she dumped me. The pain is too much. I blocked her on everything. She tries to make contact several times and I don't respond. My mother dies mid-January 2017. When my father calls Lily's mother to share the news, Lily's mother tells my father that Lily is in severe depression and has left grad school. I'm lonely and grieving and still in love with Lily, so I visit the day after my mother's funeral. By January, Lily has lost nearly 20 pounds. She was already thin and is borderline catatonic. I go back to my apartment 300 miles away as conflicted as ever. She's in so much pain. Maybe she loves me, is the narrative that permeates my brain even today. I never take her back, but I never stopped yearning for her. It's been 2 years since all of this happened, and I still wonder if I made the right choice. I think I did, but I also have this tremendous amount of pessimism about people around me. I don't trust my judgment or character anymore when I realize the girl that I believe to be an angel can abandon me and then come back and try to use me. I've still never met anyone as beautiful as Lily, at least on the inside. Lily and I have agreed to meet twice since then, and both times were extremely unpleasant. The first being a superficial show of who has more moved on, and the second was me expressing regret over wishing I was a better man throughout the relationship. The ex ended up going back and completing grad school, graduating on time in June of 2018. I still haven't replaced the hole in my life where Lily was. I push away people because I know that they will hurt me. If a girl like Lily can cut me so deeply, the kindest soul I have ever met, then everyone else surely will. I'm still lost, and for all I know, she is too. I know what she did is completely selfish and gross, but it can't override all the good she did throughout my formative years. I'm in no contact with Lily, but I love and miss her in my life. I'm wondering how to live life without her when even when I'm in bed with another woman, I miss the trust and level of connection I had with Lily. No one knows more about me. No one knows more about her. Story 2. Update: 32 female, 32 female, 34 male. My best friend's husband confessed his feelings for me. Her life was very difficult and she says she's finally happy. How do I tell her? Original post. Maya, 32 female, and I, 32 female, met in college and were best friends ever since. Maya was always very family-oriented and romantic, even when she was a kid. Her ultimate life dream is to have a big family. Sadly, Maya had a very difficult childhood. She lost her entire family, younger sister and both parents, from ages 10 to 12. She was in the system for a while until her abusive uncle took her in. Obviously, Maya was and is very mentally unwell, and just a few months ago, she managed to get off her meds and stop going to therapy. Maya and her husband Rick, 34 male, are together for 2 years now and married for 6 months. IMO. It was all a bit rushed for Maya, but was getting scared that she won't be able to have children if she waited, and to be honest, Rick seemed to be her perfect match. She was aware that things were going faster than she initially wanted, but reassured me that her and Rick are on the same page. It's her life after all, so if she's happy, so am I. Rick and I neither love nor hate each other. He's my friend's husband, so at best we tolerate one another. We don't have any common interests, and our lifestyles and life goals are completely different. Fast forward to NYE. Maya and Rick organized a party and invited me and my partner, 31 Male, to join. Everything seemed fine. Rick and I were chatting with some friends when I decided to go outside to breathe in some fresh air, since the house was pretty crowded. Rick followed a few minutes later. We casually talked about the same irrelevant things when he suddenly says he's in love with me. I thought it was one of his stupid jokes and I was totally blindsided by it, so I just laughed, joked back and hoped he would drop it. Sadly, he just doubled down and got visibly upset. Started saying how he doesn't want to spend another year unhappy and how being with Maya is exhausting because of her trauma and he deserves better than that. At this point, I got very nauseous and just wanted to get away from it all, so I told him he has no idea what he's saying and we will talk when he gets his shit together. Maya and Rick are trying for a baby, so I obviously have to tell her ASAP. The thing is, I have no idea how to do that. How do you approach a person to tell her the best part of her life is a lie? How do you address something like this with a person who spent the vast majority of her life on antidepressants and being suicidal? I don't even know if she would believe me. I also don't want to lose her as a friend, but I can't watch her be all happy and giddy about him when I know he doesn't even effing respect her. There are times I think just to ignore it all and never mention it, but I know that isn't right. Now for the update. Shortly after I posted, Rick called to apologize for his behavior. He said he never meant for it to come out, but that he's very unhappy with his marriage and now he sees no escape with the baby on the way. He then said he would never be this confused about his feelings if Maya didn't have feelings for my boyfriend, on which they have been trying to work on for a while now, but he's so exhausted from it all that he just wants to end it. He said he's confused about his feelings for me, but also he wanted to hurt her so she can see what she's putting him through and how painful it is to be in love with somebody who's a constant in their lives. Basically, he tried to spin this entire thing on Maya's trauma. I told him if he's so unhappy with his choices, he can just leave without vicious lies, and that he didn't have any reason to put me or my boyfriend in the middle of this. He just said that he didn't mean for it to happen, and we ended the call after that. I went to Maya afterwards and told her about Rick's confession. Obviously, she was heartbroken about this, but seemed to accept it at face value. I then told her what Rick said in his call, since I thought she deserves to know that he's making up stuff behind her back. That's when she broke down and said that she had no idea how it all happened. She would never act on it anyway, and that Rick was never supposed to tell me about it, but that's something between them that they were so close to resolving. She said that she saw how my partner treats me and my kid and how that's something she desperately wants, but it's just so unlucky. Call me selfish, but if we're friends, as I believe we were, I would expect her to come forward with this, trauma-related or not. It isn't just between Rick and Maya. It involves other people now that were unwillingly put into this entire situation. She spent one-on-one time with my partner so many times that she never felt bad enough to call me or tell me, or at least attempt to stay away from him and give me some fake reason for it. I know she needs support now, but I can't do this. I simply can't and won't, and if I'm an a-hole for it, then so be it. I'm fine, a stupid crush, we're all only humans, and especially with her history, I would understand 100% and help her out if she came to me about it. Lying and the betrayal that went on for years, on the other hand, I simply cannot forgive that easily, especially after everything we've been through and things she knows I've been through. I told her I need some space. She tried calling me after I left, but I'm too tired to talk to her at all and can't see myself doing so anytime soon. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for ruining my flatmate's anniversary weekend and crossing his girlfriend's boundaries? Plus update. Original post. My 22 female roommate, 22 male, is my best friend and has been for years. We lived together for 2.5 years, and it's genuinely the best living situation I've ever been in. We love to hang out and have a very close relationship, often talking for hours on end. 2 years ago, he started seeing Rachel, 21 female. Rachel and I get along very well, often drinking together and watching movies without my roommate. I consider her one of my best friends. Rachel is also frequently at my flat, often spending 4 days there at a time. The problem arose before their 2-year anniversary. Rachel asked me to leave the flat that my roommate and I share for the weekend because they celebrated their anniversary over 2 days, and she wants to be alone with him. She wants me to sleep in her bed at her flat that she shared with her 2 other flatmates. I push back against this as I have a weekly call on Sunday, and the Wi-Fi in her flat is terrible and would make the call quality extremely poor. She agreed to let me stay home on Sunday and says that she'll make her bed for me to sleep in on Saturday. All is well. Then Saturday comes, I'm at the library writing my dissertation with a good friend, and I get a text from Rachel telling me that she's sorry but that she forgot to change her sheets for me to sleep in. She asked me to instead go sleep at another friend's house. I say that I don't want to do that as this friend's house is very far away. She gets very upset with me and says it will have to be Sunday instead. I again refuse as this is the day that I have a weekly call. Rachel absolutely blows up at me. She says that I've violated her boundaries and that she cannot believe that I've done this to her. She says that I'm acting like her very cruel and abusive mother. She berates me for the other time I came home after she told me to stay at another house, and that was another boundary crossed. I'm astounded at this. The reason I went to my house was I was being followed by a man in the dark. I even sat outside of her door for 30 minutes and was planning on staying there for a few hours to give them their space, until she opened the door to let me in. I immediately take it back and say that I'll go to her house for both nights so they can have a special weekend. Since this has happened, she has not spoken to me for 4 weeks. I've repeatedly reached out to her to apologize, but have gotten literally nothing back. She has come over to my flat a few times in the meantime, but has ignored me when she walks to his room. There was even an occasion when I was hanging out with the 2 of my friends and she ignored me and had a conversation with the 2 of them in front of me, even arranging for them to hang out later, again without me. Though I still feel bad, my friends have told me that I've done nothing wrong and that she's being an a-hole. Plus, she has no right in general to order me out of my house. So Reddit, I ask, am I the a-hole? Now for the update. Update. Well, good news, bad news. Me and Rachel are no longer friends, and her and my best friend are over. When I sat down with my flatmate to finally talk about how hurt I've been feeling about the whole situation, he listened to my feelings and was supportive of my placing boundaries about her home. He apologized for not calling her out, saying he had no clue how to get between me and her. Then he left and told me he was going to talk to her about everything and get it sorted, which I really appreciated. Communication is key, I guess. Cue to me waiting about 4 hours. I figured they must have been talking for a while, but I won't lie, around hour 3, I started to get worried. When he came back, he was incredibly despondent and upset. When he went over to talk about me, she had broken up with him. The second he brought up how upset she'd made me, she told him that their relationship was over. Apparently, Rachel had been feeling for a while that they had a highly codependent relationship and needed a while to figure out how she'd be on her own. She also said that every time that she wasn't with him, she started having severe anxiety, even on the level of panic attacks, which is why she hated me being there when they were on dates and why she didn't like me spending time with him. He was deeply shocked and asked her why. She responded, "She gets to see you 24/7. I only get a few hours. She's being selfish with your time and mine." Whoever asked if she was jealous was right on the money. She also revealed that she had hated me since we met, labeling me as not a person that she would ever hang out with, and hid that from me and my best friend for years. She said that this is a break and that she still loves him and wants to get back together with him just later. Personally, I don't see that happening. My best friend is heartbroken and deeply hurt by how she approached their relationship and me. When I asked if he thought this was a break, he responded, "No effing way." She came back over the same day to pick up her stuff from our flat. Just as I was about to close the door on her, I said, "I think it's obvious to both of us that we're not friends and probably never were." She just shrugged. I guess that's everything. Thank you so much for the help and support. It was really comforting to be told that I was not the a-hole because I was basically been warping my reality to fit the narrative she had built around my actions. I also bought a book on boundaries because evidently I haven't been exercising my own enough and need to make sure that I do. Thank you all again. That's all for today. If you're enjoying this story, please like the video and share your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you.